My name is Johnna Norton, and I'm the cook shift supervisor at Simonka Place. I work in the kitchen, and I've been doing that since COVID, so since 2020, I guess. So I've been here a couple years. I was at administration before that as the volunteer coordinator, but of course my job evaporated with COVID, and so I've been a chef for almost 30 years. So they sent me over here to help in the kitchen, and they asked me to stay. Originally, I came here to Simonka Place to be in the program, the New Life Fellowship program, following the death of my twin sister. And she died in 2016, fairly suddenly, and just really rocked my world, just shook it apart. Ultimately, I lost my home and my job through my grief. Just couldn't hold it together anymore. And so I lived on the streets for about 3 months until the cold weather really set in December. It snowed one night, and I just had had enough. The most difficult thing about being homeless is just the day-to-day survival mode that you get into, that mindset that says, you know, it's going to be almost impossible today. There's very little hope that I will have my needs met today. I might not eat today. I might not have shelter this evening. I might not be safe. Safety's a big thing, especially for a woman on the streets. And there's a certain amount of fear that you live in. Fear that you'll go hungry, fear that you'll be cold, fear that you'll be hurt. And it just consumes your mind. It consumes your entire day. You know, a lot of people wonder, why don't they just go get a job? Or why don't they do this? Or why don't they do that? And the truth is that it takes every minute of your day just to get your most basic needs met. Where am I going to go to the bathroom? Will I be able to clean up at all today? Who will let me use their facilities? That sort of thing. And how will I eat? How can I get to the place where they offer food? How can I do that? I just didn't want to be outside anymore. And I knew that I could come here to Simonka Place because I had come here in the past as I struggled with my addiction with alcohol, and they were able to help me with that. And so I knew that I could come here again and get help. And I called, and of course, Janie Shepherd at the front desk said, come on in. They didn't have much to offer, but a mat on the floor, but I'll tell you, at that time, it just sounded like heaven to me. So interesting that I was downtown at the Amtrak station. I had no way to get here. I was gonna walk with all my baggage. I was gonna walk to Kaiser, and I noticed that there was a taxi cab sitting in the parking lot. I went up and I knocked on the window, and I asked the guy if he could give me a ride to Kaiser. And he said, well, I just got another call, but if you're still here when I come back, I'll give you a ride. And I said, no, sir, you don't understand. I'm asking you if you'll give me a ride. I can't pay you for it. And he said, well, let me take this ride and I'll see what happens. And I'd no sooner gone back around behind the building than I heard him honk, and he waved me back over, and he said, get in. And he drove me from downtown to Kaiser, and right to the front doors of Simonka Place. And I think when my sister died, a good part of me died too. My identity was completely changed. Without her, who am I? And that's the piece I struggled with the most. To such a terrific sense of loss and such a huge hole where she used to be. And how does one fill that? You know, how does one fill that void? Well, what I learned here at Simonka Place, of course, was that that's exactly what God does. When you invite Jesus into your heart, he fills those places for you. And your loss and your grief are just that much easier to bear when you bear it with him. And I just couldn't be more grateful. The resurrection of Jesus to me means that I can rise from the dead too. And he's really redeemed everything in my life. He's brought it full circle. Now that I'm here and I'm working for the Union Gospel Mission, I just feel that everything has come full circle. I look back and I see that he's been with me this entire time, guiding me when I wouldn't follow him exactly, but he made me a chef so that I could be here and serve. And so I just couldn't be more grateful.